It was past midnight when Daniel sat at the kitchen table, staring at a pile of unpaid bills. His worn hands trembled slightly as he rubbed his tired eyes. Being a single dad wasn't easy. After his wife passed away 3 years ago in a car accident, Daniel had been raising his 10-year-old daughter, Emily, all by himself. He worked long hours at a hardware store, but no matter how hard he pushed, money seemed to vanish before it even reached his hands. Rent, school supplies, food, medical bills, everything was piling up. The little house they lived in wasn't much, but it was home. And now even that home was at risk. Daniel sighed heavily. He couldn't let Emily see how close they were to losing everything. She had already lost her mother. She couldn't lose her sense of security too. That night, Daniel made a decision. He would rent out the spare bedroom to help cover expenses. He hated the idea of bringing a stranger into their lives, but desperation has a way of making people reconsider their boundaries. The next day, he posted an online ad: room for rent, safe neighborhood, affordable, preference for student. He expected silence or maybe a few casual inquiries. What he didn't expect was a knock at the door just 3 days later that would change his life forever. Standing on the porch was a young woman with a backpack slung over her shoulder. Her hair was messy and her eyes held exhaustion far beyond her years. She introduced herself shyly. "Hi, I'm Lily. I saw your ad. Is the room still available?" Daniel studied her for a moment. She looked barely older than a teenager, though she said she was 19. Her voice wavered when she spoke, as though she was scared of being turned away.
"Yes,"
Daniel replied, hesitating. "It's still available. Come in." Lily stepped inside nervously, glancing around the modest living room. Emily peeked out from behind the couch, her curious eyes locked on the stranger. "This is my daughter, Emily," Daniel said softly. Lily whispered with a small wave. Something about the girl struck Daniel. She looked fragile, almost broken, like someone carrying a secret she wasn't ready to share. But he pushed the thought aside. Everyone had burdens. Maybe she just needed a safe place to stay. After showing her the room, Daniel set the conditions. "Rent is low," he explained, "but I need honesty and respect in this house. I've got a little girl here, and she comes first." Lily nodded quickly, almost too quickly. "I understand. I promise. I just need a quiet place to stay." That night, Daniel let her move in. At first, things seemed fine. Lily was polite, kept to herself, and helped Emily with homework sometimes. Emily grew attached to her quickly. She loved having an older girl around, someone who listened and made her laugh. Daniel noticed Lily's gentle nature, how she always seemed to care more about others than herself. But Daniel also noticed other things. The way Lily flinched at loud noises, how she sometimes came home late with red eyes as if she had been crying. The nights when she hardly ate, pushing food around her plate until Emily distracted her. And the most troubling, one night when Daniel walked past her room, he overheard muffled sobs. Something was wrong. One evening, Daniel decided to ask. After Emily went to bed, he found Lily sitting at the kitchen table, staring at an open textbook, but clearly lost in thought. "Lily," he began carefully, "are you okay here? Is everything all right?" Her hands tightened around her pencil. For a moment, he thought she wouldn't answer. Then she whispered, "It's fine. Really, I'm just tired from school." But Daniel had lived long enough to recognize a lie when he heard one. Still, he didn't press. Instead, he gave her a reassuring smile. "If you ever need help, you can talk to me. No judgment. Just remember that." Her eyes shimmered, but she quickly looked away. 2 weeks passed, and Lily became more like family. Emily adored her, Daniel respected her, and the house felt less lonely with her around. But then came the night when everything changed. Daniel was closing the shop late one evening when his phone buzzed. It was Emily, her voice frantic. "Daddy, Lily's sick! She collapsed in her room!" Heart pounding, Daniel rushed home. When he entered Lily's room, he found her on the floor, pale and shaking. Without hesitation, he scooped her up and drove to the hospital. Emily sat in the back seat, crying the whole way. At the hospital, doctors rushed Lily inside. Hours passed before a nurse finally called Daniel in. "She'll be okay," the doctor said, "but she's severely malnourished. She's been skipping meals for a long time. And," the doctor hesitated, "she also has signs of untreated anemia and exhaustion. This isn't recent. She's been struggling for months." Daniel's chest tightened. He remembered all the times Lily avoided food, all the exhaustion in her eyes. He felt a wave of guilt. How had he missed it? When Lily woke, She tried to downplay everything. "I'm fine," she whispered. "I just haven't been eating much." "Why?" Daniel asked softly. "Lily, why are you doing this to yourself?" Tears rolled down her cheeks, and finally the truth came out. Lily confessed her secret. She wasn't just a college student trying to save money. She had been living alone for months because her parents had disowned her. Her father was abusive. Her mother never stood up for her, and when she chose to go to college, instead of working in the family's failing business, they threw her out. She had been living out of her car before finding Daniel's ad. "I didn't want anyone to know," she cried. "I didn't want pity. I thought if I just studied hard and worked enough, I could make it. But I barely have money for food. I didn't want you to think I was weak." Daniel sat beside her, his heart heavy. "Lily, needing help doesn't make you weak. It makes you human." She looked at him with wide, tearful eyes. No one had ever said that to her before. From that moment, everything changed. Daniel refused to let Lily struggle alone. He insisted she eat meals with them, no exceptions. He helped her find part-time work at the hardware store, and even though money was tight, he often slipped a few extra groceries into her bag when she wasn't looking. Emily, too, became Lily's anchor. She would draw pictures for her, cheer her on before exams, and call her Big Sis. Slowly, the haunted look in Lily's eyes began to fade. She started smiling again, genuinely, freely. But life wasn't without challenges. Lily's parents found out where she lived and tried to pressure her into coming back. They accused Daniel of taking advantage of her, spreading cruel rumors. For a while, Lily was torn. Should she go back to the people who hurt her just to silence the whispers? Or should she stay where she was finally loved and respected? With trembling hands, she made her choice. She chose family not by blood but by love. 2 years later, Daniel would look back at that night when Lily knocked on his door as the night that saved them all. Lily graduated with honors, becoming the first in her family to earn a degree. Emily grew up with 2 role models instead of 1, and Daniel, well, he discovered that sometimes life brings people together in ways we can't explain. The man who thought he was saving a stranger ended up being saved himself, because Lily's presence brought light back into a home that had been dimmed for years. Final message for the viewers: life teaches us that family isn't always about blood. It's about love, kindness, and the people who stand by us when the world walks away. Daniel opened his door to help someone in need, and in return, he found healing for himself and a sister for his daughter. If this story touched your heart, let me know in the comments what you think about Daniel and Lily's journey. Do you believe family can be chosen, not just given? And don't forget, subscribe to my channel. Be kind always, for more stories that remind us of the power of compassion. Your support keeps these stories alive, and together we can spread kindness one story at a time.